I've been told about legends, myths, and all that. But insofar as the Chania River narrative goes, we do understand that in the early 70s, during the regime or the administration of the founding father of the nation, the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, there was a cabal or a clique of powerful individuals that were christened the Kiambu Mafia. Now there were stories that the power struggle, and at some point they had said, having tested power, they had sworn that power will never cross the Chania River. That is the Chania River that the Kiambu Mafia is said to have said that power will never, what they call Udhamaki, that it will never cross the Chania River to either go to Murang'a or Nyeri. Now, in a few minutes' time, President Mwai Kibaki the late will be crossing here as a man who broke that narrative or that jinx or whatever had been said or rumored to have been reached by what was called the powerful clique from Kiambu, the Kiambu Mafia. Therefore, it is very, very significant that the man who broke that narrative, I don't know whether to call it a jinx, but the man who went against the odds and so to say, deflated that narrative, ensured that power finally crossed from Kiambu to Murang'a and eventually Nyeri. So the man who took power from Kiambu and took it to Nyeri will once again be coming down there. As you can see, the roads are very clear now. The traffic police have cleared the road from the signals we are getting. There's no traffic that is flowing from Wetevye. The road is clear, and the man who moved the power from Kiambu to Nyeri will be wheeled here. He will be ferried here. His remains albeit, and that state power in full military escort. It is a purely military affair. So the same power that had been said will never cross from Kiambu to either Murang'a or Nyeri, in a few minutes' time, the country will be witnessing as the president, late Mwai Kibaki, comes down the Chania River. So, Brenda, it is a very, very significant morning here at the Chania Bridge. I am privileged to be here to witness what had been said many years ago. We were hoping that we will be able to find an elderly person who will be able to tell us the real story about power crossing the Chania River, but from the look of things, the people that I see around here, many of them, we could be almost in the same age bracket, so we could be as well those who've heard those many stories. But it would have been very good if maybe we found an elderly man who will tell us stories about the stories about the Chania River and all that. So you can see the road is very clear. It is just a matter of time, it's just a matter of minutes that the remains of the late President Mwai Kibaki will be crossing the Chania River. A very, very, very historic morning, Brenda.
And you know, Aemba, as much as you are wishing that you had an elderly person right there, you've actually explained it to us, because I mean, when the team here at Standard Group was planning for this coverage and why we needed someone to be at Chania River, so many of us didn't understand why. Just why should we have someone at the Chania River? And you've actually painted a good picture and explained it very well, you know, as to why Chania River is of importance, you know, and every stopover, why is significant to the late President Mwai Kibaki. And I believe you're still with me. Kindly talk to us about your time, how you remember President, you know, Mwai Kibaki, because you've done so many stories about him, including a Untold Story.
Yes, Brenda, the much I can tell about the late President Mwai Kibaki is basically what we've been, pretty much was said yesterday. The late President Mwai Kibaki, as I've said, is a man who has made history. We are talking about the person who broke that jinx, that power finally moved from Kiambu, or from the hands of the Kiambu Mafia to Nyeri eventually. Coincidentally, the person who took over or who broke that jinx actually took it from the son, or took it from actually competed with the son of the founding father Uhuru Kenyatta, that is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, in 2002. Now Uhuru Kenyatta had been tapped as heir apparent for the late President Daniel Moi. Kibaki took power from him after winning overwhelmingly convincingly in 2002, ending a 39-year rule of the Independence Party KANU. Now you can say that he took power from the son of a person whose cabal or clique had vowed that power will never actually move. And I can already see, I think the escort or the sweepers are almost here, signs that any moment it will be coming down. President Mwai Kibaki became Kenya's 4th vice president. President Mwai Kibaki became Kenya's 3rd president. President Mwai Kibaki became the 2nd vice president to eventually ascend to power, and most importantly, the first ever official opposition leader to capture power. As you can see, this, I think the traffic, of course, the marshals, they've already cleared. You can see how they've lined up, and in a matter of minutes, we will be witnessing the convoy, or the convoy actually getting down here. And I think this is it. I think this is it. From what I can see, this is it. The president, the remains of the late President Mwai Kibaki eventually crossing over, or actually on the descent to the Chania Bridge, or the Chania River, and eventually the Chania Bridge, as he heads to, as it's taken to Nyeri. So Brenda, back to what you were saying. Remember that President Mwai Kibaki, having been as a history maker, he resigned from cabinet on 25th December 1991. That was unprecedented. After having served as a vice president for 10 years, then having been moved to the docket of health ministry, he resigned on Christmas Day 1991 to form a party known as Democratic Party. That party would participate in the inaugural multi-party elections in 1992. There you have it, Brenda. This is the legendary Chania River, and as you can see, the convoy is finally here. Kenya's 3rd president, the late Mwai Kibaki, finally crossing again the Chania River, and he is now headed to his hometown of Nyeri. And therefore, this is what we have been talking about. This is the significance. This is the power that the man from Nyeri moved from Kiambu to Nyeri County, breaking that narrative that power would never cross the Chania River. So it is a very, very historic moment. It is a very, very great morning again that the country is witnessing.